Hello everybody, how is everyone doing? My name is Kikrlin, or you may also know me as Dino from PC2, and welcome to Florida! Yes, today we're racing at the Miami International Autodrome in Florida. This year is the debut year of this track, and it has already made some pretty okay races in real life and in-game. IRL, which also had a scary crash between Gasly and Norris, so it's already given out a pretty interesting remark. But let's see how it performs in game. This track is 5.4 kilometers or 3.3 miles long and is made out of 19 corners, 7 to the right and 12 to the left. It also has 3 DRS zones, making overtaking pretty common around its 3 long straights. Sector 1 is mostly made out of really fast corners, while Sector 2 has a long straight and very slow corners which go under the highway, mostly known as the Mickey Mouse section. And Sector 3 is mostly made out of 1 really long straight and a hard braking zone going into turn 17, where we might see all our moves happening. The tires are right in the middle range, with the C4, C3 and C2 tires being used for today, and as always the intermediates and the wets. Rain is not uncommon here if you watch this race in other leagues or maybe in other divisions, so our drivers need to be aware of that going forth. Speaking of rain, we saw rain, like I said, in previous divisions in PC2, I think also in PC3. In both qualifying and the race, and if you are racing, be careful with the weather indication, because that might also be buggy, saying that it might be raining for the entirety of the race and then it's gonna be dry for half of the race and then wet for the other half, so be careful with that as well. Yeah. We are just waiting to go on with the racing. We are just waiting for 2 people, I think, because we have 18 drivers. I don't remember how many we actually are supposed to have, but we are going to go underway very soon. Adam is also going to be joining us in a few minutes. He just has to figure something out, but he might also not come. He said that he might come, so we cannot really speculate anything. Also, you should expect some restarts probably happening in the middle of the races, because we might have some desync issues as we had yesterday in PC2, so we cannot count that out as well going forth. So, last time we saw Red Bulls, so both Quarton, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, and Tony Rich actually taking a 1-2 for Red Bull. So let's see if they can continue that momentum into Miami for today and extend their lead in the Constructors, which is insanely large. I think it's like 20 or 30 points already. And yeah, Quarton is still leading. So yeah, let me just check if everything is okay, if the volume is okay. But it should be fine. Just tell me if I need to bump up the volume or reduce the volume a little bit during the stream, so I can just figure everything out while we are doing this. So yeah. We should have a full grid, if I remember correctly. I can actually check in just a moment. Because I didn't really prepare too much, because I was watching the real-life race. But yeah, we should have a full grid. So a few reserves also unfortunately couldn't get the seats, but we do have a full grid for today's race, so that is gonna be very fun. Okay, just setting everything up, making sure everything is going perfectly. Okay, So let's go here, and there we go. So we are going in. One person is missing. I don't know who that is, but he's probably gonna join in the middle of the qualifying session. One of the Alfa Romeos. So we have a short qualifying session like always. So 18 minutes to set the full grid. For the race is 50%, so 29 laps of just full-on racing. Thank you, Lash. Or wait, how do I pronounce that? Lashy? Lash. I don't know. I don't really know German, if that's true. I'm just gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna reduce the voice. Thank you for that. Okay, there we go. And looks like we actually have a dry session, so that is very nice indeed. So, yeah. Oh, some people are already leaving. Let's hope that they rejoin. But there are some clouds in the air, so presumably rain is gonna come in just a few minutes, or maybe right at the end of the session. So it's gonna be mandatory for everyone to go out instantly. So they say, so they set the fastest lap right now if rain does come at the end. Yeah, I'm gonna say Linus. I'm gonna say Linus from now on. Honestly, I forgot you were Linus. In wait, where's the sounds in game? There we go. So Maurer is the first guy to go out on track. I think he was also the first guy last time in Silverstone. So wanting to be the first guy to set lap all the time, that's also what I like to do. And being in the Williams, you can just go out straight away. The last two races here in Miami and Silverstone have actually made it that difficult with the changeable conditions, going from wet to dry. It's been just a mess of a game with a lot of bugs happening all around. But let's not think about that. Because let's just focus on Maurer's lap as he's going now under the highway. One Alpine is right behind him. I think that is Berlini, as Hajrusi has just gotten out for his outlap. So we're just gonna stay on board with this Mercedes, and I'm gonna try and give you a little bit of a track guide of the new Miami circuit. I don't really do good track guides, so I'm just gonna try my best. So Maurer taking a very wide line going into turn 17, trying to get the best exit. So this exit is mandatory for your whole straight line speed going into turn 1 as he starts his lap right now. You want to go as outside as you possibly can. As you see, Maurer getting a lot of oversteer in the entry of the corner. Thankfully he actually caught it. And he looks like he's very comfortable with the curbs. You wanna tag them a lot, but also be very conservative because it can really unsettle your car and spin you. Here, turn 7, you wanna get a wide exit and then go full flat out at the end for this straight, because this straight is gonna be mandatory for this DRS, which is in the middle. If you don't know what DRS is, 1 second to the car ahead. Basically, you open the rear wing. Now going into turn 10, I think this is it's a pretty hard braking zone. You want to go to 3rd gear, maybe even 4th gear, short shifting. The Mickey Mouse section very slow, and then this section under the highway very easy to actually lock up and invalidate your lap if you corner cut it a bit too much on the inside, or actually, yeah, both insides. If you corner cut too much, you can invalidate your lap, and it sometimes also gives you a full-on penalty, even without warning. Now going into turn 17, also a very hard braking zone, probably the heaviest braking zone out of them all. You want to go to 4th gear and then nearly go flat out, and then right in the middle of the corner, just go flat out, hug this inside curb, and that is going to be a 127.2. I cannot really compare this lap time to PC2 lap times because we did have a wet qualifying session, but Berlini has set a lap time of a 126.837, puts himself into P2, as Quarton puts himself on provisional pole, only 15 thousandths of a second faster than Berlini in the Alpine. Harvey also crossed the finish line 2 seconds off of Maurer, so he definitely has a lot of time to improve, and Jonathan Foss probably just made a mistake somewhere, which he is 9 seconds behind. Thank you, Linus, for the indication that everything is good. I just hope that the game sounds are also good. So let's see who else is on a lap. Hajrusi has started his lap. Looks like he also got a little bit of slipstream from his teammate Berlini. So let's actually see what sector split this is gonna be. Going into the Mickey Mouse section, using second gear somehow didn't invalidate at that part, because that looked way on the inside. It's a 1 minute 2.2 in sector 2, so already showing a pretty okay lap time. That's a pretty average split. Going to sector 3. Let's see how he does. Turn 17, very nice. Doesn't even touch the inside curb. You don't really want to touch that inside curb because it's very unpredictable in my opinion, but that lap time is gonna be a 127.4, 6 tenths over his teammates, so currently not that bad, but there is still 12 minutes left until the end of the session, so there is definitely time for improvement. Of course, if there is not gonna be any rain going to appear at the end of the session, as Tony Rich also crosses the finish line 127.1, 3 tenths off of his teammate on pole position, but still a pretty good lap time to put himself into P3 on used tires. So that is very, very impressive indeed. Let me just check the volume again. Okay, everything's good. Let's see who else. Bill Bass in the Ferrari. Getting slipstream from his teammate. Looks like a lot of people are actually doing this, which is very nice to see. Doing some team plays here with the Ferraris. We saw Alpines doing this as well. And honestly, Miami is the perfect track if you wanna do slipstreams. The second straight is the longest of the 3, and basically there you can gain a lot of time if you are running a very low downforce setup, setup wise, a lower downforce setup is actually more better, because if you are running a bit higher wings, it really doesn't matter, because there's not really too many fast corners where high downforce is mandatory. The only section is sector 1, and that's like in the end section of sector 1, like turns 4, 5 and 6. And that's like the only place where you're gonna gain time. So it's better to actually put a lower downforce setup, like maybe 13, 11 wings, just to give you the edge on the straights, because it's gonna make your life a whole lot easier, making overtakes or defending for position, or maybe just saving ERS, because people are not gonna be able to overtake you at all almost. So a lower downforce setup, in my opinion, is probably the better option going for Miami. Strategy wise, we are probably gonna see most people going from mediums to hards or hards to mediums. That is, of course, on every other track the best strategy, since the patch softs are not really the best tire choice. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what people are gonna do. From experience, going from hards to mediums is the better option, because mediums are gonna be way better when you have low fuel at the end of the race, and they don't really wear out too much. So if you can get rid of the hards as soon as possible, go to mediums, you're gonna just make your life a whole lot easier. But the only problem are gonna be the safety cars. If there's gonna be an early safety car, if you start on mediums, you can maybe make an early pit stop, which is gonna be a free pit stop because of the safety car, and you can maybe go to the end of the race. Because hards, you can pretty much extend them fully for the whole race. But we see Ducros 126.8 it is very close at the top currently, with the top 3 all within a tenth, which is very nice to see. Also Tony Rich not too far behind, 3/10, with Maurer also 4/10. So already people showing that they are very competitive during this qualifying session, and by the looks of it, I don't think we're gonna see some I don't think we're gonna see any rain happening, at least in the qualifying session. We don't know what the weather prediction is in the race, as Mikkelsen also crossed the finish line, 128.1. If he only improved by 2/10, he would have been in the top 10, but it wasn't to be, as Quarton just smashes the pole lap time with a 126.4, 4/10 faster than his previous lap time. That is just incredible, as Maurer also closes by only 1/10 to Quarton. That is insane. That is very, very close indeed. Also nice to see Maurer improving from last time. He had a lot of bad luck in Silverstone, so let's see if his pace can maybe just come back here in Miami, because he does have only a lot to lose and not a lot to gain if he starts in the top 3. If you are new to Formula 1, how qualifying works, so you basically have around 5 sets of softs, so you can use them all. And then in the race you get to choose whatever tire you want to start with. In previous years, whatever tire you put your fastest lap on in qualifying would be your tire for the race, but the rule has been changed for this year, which is honestly pretty good, because it does give a very different strategy choice for everyone. So you're gonna see like people maybe starting on softs, mediums, and like hards. So honestly, I really like that decision, that we do have a free choice, and in qualifying we can just push fully flat out for the entire qualifying session. So I definitely approve of that. So that is one thing. Also, formation lap has been disabled for this race. We saw it previously in Silverstone, but it is still buggy, so it has been turned off for this race. I don't think it's gonna come back anytime soon if it's not gonna be fixed. Let me just check the volume once again, because I don't think the cars are loud enough. So I'm just gonna put one more click up, as Zdisblovsky has crossed the finish line, 127.3, puts himself into P7, but Tony Rich has improved, goes to P3, and I think that was also Jonathan Foss who went into P6, so already both Red Bulls showing that they do have the pace from Silverstone, and that they are probably gonna be dominant as well. Today, one AlphaTauri has crossed the finish line, Luke Mills, but I don't think he improved, so he's probably gonna go for another one, as yes, he is using ERS, so let's see if he can improve, as the Alpine has moved out of the way to not give any dirty air. Owen was on a lap, but looks like he aborted it. Redzulski has just started his one, but we do see a Williams. Or no, he's actually going into the pit lane. I thought he was gonna finish his lap, but he just went into the pit lane. Ducros also starting his lap, but I think we see Sassim gonna finish his lap, but he has unfortunately invalidated, so he is gonna have to go for another one. So 5 minutes left until the end of the session. Corton still leading this, still on provisional pole. Maurer on the right behind on the first row, 1/10 difference between the two Red Bull and Mercedes drivers. Tony Rich also follows right behind in P3, as that's a very safe release for Alpine, but that's not gonna be penalized because that's not really what we can do. And it's not really that big of a deal, because you cannot crash during qualifying when you go out, so that's at least one positive, but it's still incredibly buggy. As Luke Mills crosses the finish line, does improve by 3/10, but unfortunately stays in P10, so doesn't improve any positions, as there is a Alpine also starting his lap. I think that is Berlini, so he needs to improve 4/10 if he wants to challenge for that pole position. as we're probably gonna see the top 3 going out once again during the 2 final minutes. So track evolution is pretty big actually here in Miami. But there's not really too many corners, so you're not really gonna gain a lot of time. But here in Sector 1 and Sector 2 at the end, there is still a lot of time to gain with the track evolution. As we see Mikkelsen on a lap, but he unfortunately has a spun going into the entry of turn 6. Let's hope that he moves away for the Aston Martin and the McLaren right behind, so he doesn't abort their laps, and yeah, he just moves out of the way very thankfully. But yeah, already going very nice indeed. Where was I? Ducros in P5, Jonathan Foss in P6, 30 thousandths of a second behind Ducros, also very close. If Jonathan Foss can find like only 1/10, he can already put himself into P4. So that is probably gonna be his best chance, and we see Berlini, I think, improving to P3, going to the second row. Very nice indeed from the Alpine driver, but still a bit too far behind for pole position. 2/10. Honestly, this grid is just showing that it's surprisingly incredibly competitive compared to last season, where we had Drake winning every single race and then Tuka also afterwards winning every single race. And this is a nice change of pace in my opinion, because we see a lot of people that can actually challenge for the pole position and for the win. We have Corton, Maurer, Borlini, Rich, Ducros, Foss. Maybe Zblovski if he manages to finish his lap and do well. Bilbas, who was challenging for the title in Season 7. We have so many people who can challenge for pole position and the win. And it's just so nice to see it. But let's go on board with Hazrusi as he got another slipstream from his teammate Berberlini. As he got a bit of a squirrely exit going under the highway, but still improves by 2/10. If he finishes this lap, this is gonna put him to P7. All is, of course, how much time he lost in Sector 3. So let's just keep on board with him for the rest of the lap, as he does get a pretty good exit. Maybe a bit too early on the throttle. You can go very early if you go short shift to 4th gear. But he does cross the finish line and only just goes to P7 with a 127.320. So very nice indeed for the Alpine driver, and that is probably going to be his final lap because there is not enough time to improve. Now let's go on board with our current pole sitter of Corton. Let's see if he's gonna be able to improve by even more. Oh, he actually backed out of it. Oh, okay. So presumably he lost a lot of time going into turn 1, 2, and 3. So he's not gonna be able to do another one. So he is gonna stay currently in P1, but let's see if Maurer is gonna be able to improve and maybe snatch that pole position and get himself his first pole of the season. But no, he invalidates! Oh, that is very unfortunate indeed. The only problem, or actually the only advantage now that he has compared to Corton, is that he can actually go for another run, and this strategy... Oh, look at how he's saving ERS. I never saw that. That is actually very impressive. So looks like you can just switch from neutral to first gear and you're gonna save ERS like nothing. That is very interesting. I really don't know how he found that out, but that happened. But we did see a indication that unfortunately Hazrusi has gotten a 5 place grid penalty, so he is gonna start 5 places below where he is currently. So he's in P7, so he is gonna start in P12 if no one else improves. As we see a lot of people retiring with Jonathan Foss, Hazrusi, and Bill Bass, but they are in the pit lane, so they're not gonna abort anyone's laps, as we are on board with Tony Rich. Tony Rich and Maurer are the only ones probably who can challenge for pole position, but Tony doesn't have the pace to do it. He is gonna go into the pit lane, stay in P4. Only Ducros can now probably pass him, as he is not improving going into the Mickey Mouse section. Maurer is gonna be right behind, as we see in the Aston Martin, moving out of the way, thankfully. But let's see here, do cross and oh, that's a big crash, and that is gonna probably abort a lot of people's laps, which is Luke Mills, Redzulski, Sassim, and Maurer. As we saw here, Luke Mills got a very nice slipstream from the Aston Martin driver right behind, which is probably gonna get him around 1/10 or 2/10 going into turn 17. Let's see if he's gonna be able to improve. He needs to improve 3/10 if he wants to get into P7, but he's still gonna improve because of Hashrusi, and he does! He goes to P7 with a 1:27.2. Very good lap time from the AlphaTauri driver. We see Corton going into the pit lane, the Aston Martin driver as well, and Maurer unfortunately couldn't improve to challenge for pole position, and that is going to be the grid set for the race, as Corton has got another pole position added to his name in this season. Second one in a row. Congratulations to the Red Bull driver. Again, showing incredible pace this season, so that is very nice to see. Looking to just expand the championship gap, as he is currently leading in the drivers and helping Red Bull extend in the constructors. But Corton is gonna start on pole position, Maurer is gonna be right behind in P2, and they set the first row of the grid. Bertolini and Tony Rich are gonna be in P3 and P4, second row of the grid. Ducros, Foss, third row. Mills has Rusi, fourth row. Zdislovsky and Bilbas, fifth row. Loginski and Crocs, fourth row. Mikkelsen and Dougal in the seventh row. Heinen and Robertson in the eighth row. Redzulski and Harvey in the ninth row. And Sassim, unfortunately, starting last of everyone. A very poor lap from the Aston Martin driver, but at least everything can go up from here for him. But I don't think it's gonna be a chance for points today, unfortunately, only if he has some good luck. And we also saw Bilbas has also gotten a 5-place grid penalty, so that is very interesting indeed. I completely missed that during the qualifying session. I didn't see when he got it. So that is very surprising. I don't know what happened there. Maybe both Bilbas and Hadrosi made contact, and both of them got a penalty for it. But honestly, I don't know. Sorry for that. I'm a bit sick, if you didn't hear. But yeah. We are just waiting for the drivers to set their strategy, set how much fuel they want to do, they want to have during the course of the race, and we are gonna go on with the race. Like I said, no formation lap, so we're just gonna go straight away with the race. As here we are. 5 red lights. It's a long call up as always, but we are underway for the Miami Grand Prix. Looks like Maurer has actually gotten a pretty good start, but he's not gonna be able to attack for the lead, as Corton still leads going into turn 1. Bertolini trying to go around the outside of the Mercedes driver going into turn 2, but he's still gonna be under pressure from Tony Rich, which he wants to improve, going onto the podium positions as they go side by side going into turn 4. Who is gonna benefit from this, as Tony Rich just has to back away. So he's gonna stay in P4, but let's see if he wants to maybe try and go for a move down the inside going into turn 7. No, he's gonna stay right behind. Maybe he's gonna try and go for a move with the slipstream. Let's see, right behind, people battling. I think Foss has improved 1 position. Let's see here as well. Luke Mills lost 1 position to Waginski, but he is gonna go under attack to the Haas driver. Is he gonna be able to make this move stick? He is gonna go down the inside, and they are still going side by side, going into the Mickey Mouse section. Is he gonna be able to maybe try and do a switch back here? No, he is gonna stay behind, stay in P8, as he is gonna be under pressure from Mikkelsen also right behind. So he is gonna have to be pretty careful to not make any mistakes, to not lose even more time. As Corton has already moved 1 second ahead of Maurer, so he's already out of DDR range, off of DDRS range. So already showing incredible pace here in the beginning of the race. Let's see what tires everyone has actually put on to the cars. Everyone is on hards. That's the first time I'm actually seeing this. That is very impressive, actually. That's the first time I'm seeing everyone go for hards. Like, usually people would maybe go for mediums, But very impressive actually, as Mikkelsen has actually improved, as he's now going another attack to Bill Bass down the inside, going into turn 1, but he is gonna have to go and back away. As Mills has gotten himself to P14, so probably Commentator's curse, as he made a mistake somewhere and lost a lot of ground now behind his teammate, as we see a Aston Martin of Redzulski spun around going into turn 3. Very unfortunate for him, as Aston Martin still having incredibly bad luck this season, going from Silverstone going to Miami. But let's see here, we are already forming a little bit of a DRS train, even though DRS is not enabled yet, as it is going to be enabled next lap. But Mikkelsen pretty far behind to try and make a move to the Ferrari driver, and yeah, no one is really trying to make any moves here. Heinen had a little bit of a look on Crocs, but yeah, there was just no way to do that. It's not really the place where you want to overtake there. But let's see here, who is having a lowdown for setup. Looks like Bill Bass is making overtaking here, going into turn 17 with the slipstream, using a little bit of his ERS and making a switch back. But unfortunately he got a pretty bad exit, so he is gonna have to stay behind. But he is gonna try and go once again, going into turn 1, but now around the outside. Is he gonna be able to make this move stick, as Oginski does push him as wide as he possibly can, but that is not gonna be anything for Bilbaz, because he got all of the experience from battling with Duca last season, and that was a pretty easy overtake indeed for Bilbaz there, which also gave Mikkelsen a pretty good opportunity, because this battle has slowed both of them down, so maybe he can also try and overtake here. But now Oginski will have DRS, as Mikkelsen nearly crashes into the wall, getting a lot of oversteer at the exit, and that was also a very good opportunity for Zdislovski to make a move there. Let's see here, Oginski unfortunately a bit too far behind to try and make a move. But Patrick O'Dougall trying to go down the inside, making a little dive bomb on the Mercedes, but a bit too far behind. This is very interesting to watch already, as Maurer has gotten himself in the DRS range of Corton, our leader. Let's see if Corton is going to be able to defend. Oh, definitely. You can see Maurer has wasted a lot of his ERS to get himself in the DRS range, but at least now he's gonna be able to stay here. He can now save ERS in the corners. He's not gonna lose too much time. And Corton doesn't really have a lot to concern himself with, in my opinion. As we do have a yellow flag going into turn 18, it is Robertson and Haas. Very unfortunate there for him, but he does go into the pit lane. So, because everyone is on hards, I assume people are probably gonna go safe with a one-stop, so hards to mediums. Or at least that's what I predict people are gonna do. As we see another spinner, another Aston Martin, and yeah, Aston Martin's really unlucky. But people are probably gonna go safe from hards to mediums, and if there's gonna be a safety car, maybe the strategy is gonna be split in two ways, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen in the middle of the race. I don't know if there's gonna be rain, but looking at the clouds, I don't think there is. So I think we are just gonna have a full dry race for the entire 29 laps, which is gonna be good. Maurer still behind of Corton, not making any moves. Like I said, just trying to stay behind. We saw Maurer's strategic ERS saving in qualifying, so maybe he's trying to use that as well here in the race. And honestly, I never saw that. Like, that's the first time I'm seeing that. I should probably start using that in my qualifying sessions. As we see a Ferrari and the AlphaTauri spun around. They lost a lot of positions there going into turn 17, but Bilbas trying to regain. First of all, going on Harvey down the inside into turn 1. Very easy move there, not really that difficult, and Luke Mills is also trying to benefit from that. But he is gonna have to stay behind. He is gonna have to get rid of Alfie if he wants to battle with Bill Bass, as we do have another spinner. It is another Has of Oginski, as he does rejoin the track, thankfully. Moves out of the way as well, so doesn't really invalidate anyone's laps, but Bilbas was very aggressive there, squeezed him into the wall. I don't know why he did that, but now Bilbas and Luke Mills going side by side into turn 8, I think this is, or turn 9, and Luke Mills, you saw his straight line speed is unmatched by the Ferrari driver, and that was a very easy move indeed, as people behind, Oginski and Harvey, try also going side by side, as Harvey just corner cut the entire corner. Got himself a 3-second time penalty, but that is not the first penalty of the race, as Owen Heinen has got a 3-second time penalty before, so he is the first guy to do that. As somehow Alfie got DRS, even though I think he was behind 1 second. As Oginski now trying to go down the inside. Is he gonna be able to make this move stick? Yes, he is, but he does get a little bit of oversteer at the exit, which is gonna give Harvey another chance to battle for this position, and he gladly takes it. He also got DRS, which is also gonna allow him to defend very easily, as Oginski tried a very late dive bomb move, but that was a bit interesting. That's not the word I'm looking for, but he really wanted to dedicate himself into that dive bomb. He really wanted to make that move stick, but there was no way. And there are clouds in the air, so maybe rain is coming, which is interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. As we see a battle here with Bilbas, not Bilbas, Foss and Ducros. I'm having my Ferraris mixed here, but Foss made a move into the Mickey Mouse section on Ducros, but Ducros now lost a lot of time under the highway, but he does have a little bit more ERS than Jonathan Foss. They are at pretty equal, so I don't think it's quite over just yet for these two drivers. But let's see here, Maurer and Corton still battling for the lead. Corton still leading, saving a lot of his ERS. Like, if Maurer wants to try and attack, I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything, because Corton has 70% of his ERS, so he can just use as much as he wants. As we have another yellow flag, another Aston Martin, I think that is Retsulski, again spinning, but let's see when this rain is actually gonna come. If it's gonna come in 3 laps, that is gonna be very interesting to see who is gonna be the first guy to go into the pit lane and benefit from that. As Maurer, I think, oh, he nearly went for the move, but like we said before, I think it's just the best to stay behind. It's not really the best to try and attack him now. It's probably better to just save ERS, and then if Tony Rich right behind also closes the gap to these guys in front, then try and defend against him. But currently Borlini also showing pretty okay pace, as he is still behind Tony here, but he's not gonna go for the move. He probably should go make the same strategy like Maurer, just save ERS, because there's no point in using all of it, because you're just making your life a bit harder in the long run. But yeah, saving ERS is probably the best choice here. Or maybe not, because the rain is probably just gonna screw everything up, as it always does. But I mean, the sun is coming out again, so maybe it's just gonna be cloudy. Maybe it's not gonna be raining, which at least I hope it's not gonna be raining, because it's just gonna provide a bunch of carnage. But let's see here in the back, we have a 3-way fight with Heinen, Harvey and Oginski battling for P14. Unfortunately, not for points. If you're new to Formula 1, the points are awarded as follows from P10 to P1. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 18, and 25. You also get an additional point for the fastest lap if you do get it, and if you are in the top 10. Oh, that is Bilbas spinning! Oh, oh, safety car! Nice! Not nice. Not nice, honestly. Bilbas really not having the race that he would have wanted. We saw him having some pretty bad luck in Silverstone last time, and looks like that is carrying over into Miami as well. Our championship contender in season 7 and not having the best start to the season as he would have hoped. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. But at least now he has no front wing. We saw in PC2 that you can pretty easily defend with no front wing because you have less drag and you're gonna be insanely fast on the straight line. So maybe not boxing is gonna be the best strategy here, but we see a lot of people going to mediums here. The top 3 staying out with the Red Bulls actually making a double stack. I don't know how well that went, as I think Rich lost a position to Foss, so that is also very unfortunate indeed for Tony Rich. But at least now he is on fresh tires. He didn't lose too many positions, so he still has a lot to gain, as the top 3 haven't pitted yet, still on hards. So that might be the indication that rain is coming in just a few laps time, but honestly I really don't know what they are doing, the top 3. Like I said, I don't have any indications or things that can show me that it is gonna be raining, so I can just rely on the drivers or maybe engineers to tell me. Okay, so we have a safety car currently. Almost everyone has gotten into the pit lane, with Harvey, Ducros, Berlini, and Maurer staying out. So very interesting strategy there by the 4 drivers. Mediums can definitely go to the end. They are gonna be in the puncture zone, but they are gonna be manageable to the end. And I think that those 4 drivers just messed themselves up, because they just threw themselves a free pit stop, in my opinion. Because when they do make a pit stop, they are gonna lose 22 seconds or around 21 seconds, and it's gonna be hard to gain all of that time. So yeah, honestly. Oh, and there we go. Borlini has changed his mind, but a bit too late. Now he is gonna be at the back of the pack. So he should have made that pit stop way earlier, because now he's just gonna make his life way harder, which is only gonna be bad for him. Okay, give me just one moment. I just hope my stream doesn't crash, and it doesn't. Okay. So, I just have to check a few things. Give me just one moment. And there we go. Everything should be fine. I think the audio should now be better. So let me just check that, because now we have a safety car. Honestly, I'm really bad with safety cars. I don't have any like topics. My jokes are garbage. What else? Yeah, I really cannot do safety cars. So I'm just gonna check the volume in just a bit, because I messed with the settings up a little bit, so let's see if it works. There we go. Nah, Rabik, it didn't crash. It didn't crash. I watched it. It would crash like my entire game and OBS. So that's like, it sometimes does that when I alt tab. It seems to be fixed with the new game. It did that on the previous game, but thankfully it's been fixed, looking at least by the data. So that's at least one thing that's working compared to the previous game. But there we go. Safety car is in this lap, thankfully, because I would probably not die with, and you would probably die with boredom, because I really don't know what to say. But Maurer still leading, holding everyone up, as the safety car is just coming into the pit lane. Let's see how late Maurer is actually gonna go with the restart. Is he gonna go after turn 17, or is he gonna wait until the finish line? You cannot go side by side at the... or actually I think you can go side by side under the safety car restart, as we saw a big snap of oversteer from Maurer there. But thankfully he didn't lose too much time to do cross right behind him, so he is gonna still stay on pole, or actually in P1. So that, thankfully for him, didn't lose him too much time. But now Ducros is already outside 1 second. So already out of the DRS range. Looks like those hards aren't really that bad out of the restart. As we see Corton try to make a switch back to the Alfa Romeo driver. This is a very impressive move. Oh, that was beautiful to see. As we see a yellow flag right behind with Alfie Harvey spinning in turn 3, and another yellow flag. We have a big crash right behind. It is sort of what happened in real life. Let's actually go on board with Harvey. Let's see what happened there. Heinen is just on the middle of the track. I don't know what happened there, but we see a big bunch of cars here going side by side. We're gonna have 4 wide into turn 9. Jesus! Guys, calm down. Somehow no crashes happened there. Oh! Scratch that. Contact between the Haas and the Alpine driver of Borlini. Borlini also touched a little bit with Sassim because of that contact. But honestly, I'm just surprised how everyone kept that clean, going 4 wide, as we see Sassim, or Redzulski actually, having contact with one of the Haas's, I think. And unfortunately has a spun in turn 16. As right up there in the lead, Tony Rich has made the move into P3 to the podium positions. Now both of the Red Bulls have one Mercedes in front of them on old hards, and honestly they can just stay behind, wait until Maurer is gonna make his pit stop, and that is gonna be it, because they have provisional P1 and P2. Oh, as that's a big snap of oversteer there for Tony Rich, but thankfully he manages to avoid the wall. I don't know how people are just saving all of these oversteers, like everywhere. And honestly, I don't know how they are getting so much oversteer. It is very scary to watch. But yeah, Corton has managed to get himself 5/10 to Maurer. I think DRS is enabled this lap, so he is gonna have it for this straight, as he also gets a little bit of snap of oversteer, but he also touched the inside curb, which also does unsettle your car. So DRS isn't enabled this lap, but it will be next lap. So Corton is gonna have a pretty easy chance here, as Tony Ridge, because of that oversteer going at the exit of turn 7, has lost himself off of the DRS range. So maybe if Corton can overtake Maurer here, maybe he can back him out, so Tony has DRS. As we see right behind, Ducros and Jonathan Foss also going side by side into turn 1. Foss going around the outside of the Alfa Romeo driver, making this move very, very easy. As Ducros also has another snap of oversteer, which gives Zdislovski a chance for a move on Ducros, but he is gonna have to stay behind just a little bit longer. But both of these drivers are gonna get DRS from Jonathan here. So let's see if they're gonna be able to make this move stick, or is Zdislovski maybe gonna be able to make a double overtake going into turn 9. Let's go on board with Ducros. I think he is just gonna be a bit too far behind to try and make a move. He also lifted off a little bit before the corner, so presumably he is saving a little bit of fuel. So that is also gonna be a big factor at the end of the race. You could have saved the fuel during the safety car, but maybe he put way less. And honestly, I thought we would have more safety cars than we had, with so many crashes. Like, we already have a lot of spinners, a bunch of people crashing into each other, and still no safety cars. We only had one safety car. As Maurer and Corten are battling here into turn 17, and Corten has made the move stick for P1. Tony Rich has also managed to get himself into DRS, as Corten got the fastest lap, but Tony manages to snatch it away by only around 50 thousandths of a second. So you can just see how close the two Red Bulls are. So I think it's anyone's game between the Red Bulls and probably Maurer, but like we said before, Maurer does have the disadvantage of the tires, because he will have to get into the pit lane once more, which is not gonna be good for his race. So it's gonna be a matter of time when he does go into the pit lane, or maybe he is trying to extend, maybe trying to go to soft to the end of the race. Honestly, I don't know what his and Ducrus's strategy is. But we'll just have to wait and see what is gonna happen. As we see, Zdisblovski going on Ducros around the outside, but no way he's gonna be able to make that stick. He was a bit too far behind. So, we are halfway into the race, lap 14 of 29. Corten is leading this race, but he is still gonna be under pressure from Maurer and Tony Rich right behind, as both of them are still in the DRS range of the Red Bull. Jonathan Foss in P4, Ducros does have DRS from Jonathan, Zdisblovski and Patrick Dougal as well in P6 and P7. Luke Mills manages to get himself into P8 off of this earlier incident before the safety car, so going on pretty well so far. Then we see Hajrusi P9, Bilbas somehow in P10, even though he spun already 2 or 3 times, so somehow still gets himself into points, and not too far behind to the leaders. Actually, it's only around 10 seconds, so not too bad, even though his race has probably went to hell. Borbolini in P11, 2 seconds behind of Bilbas, and then we have also Ginski 2 seconds to Berlini. And then unfortunately Sasim, Harvey, Crocs, Robertson, Mikkelsen and Ritsulski, who haven't had the race that they would have wanted, all outside the points, and probably not gonna get any looking by this. As Tony Rich, I completely missed that. How did I miss that? As Rich has made a mistake, as Maurer has spun in the Mickey Mouse section. Oh no, that is gonna be very bad for Maurer here, as that just lost him even more time than he would have wanted even before the pit stop. And he is in P7. Thankfully he did get the DRS from Patrick Dougal, but no way that he's gonna be getting it now. But Ducros and Patrick going side by side into turn 17. Patrick makes that move stick very easily. Now he only has Zdisblovski right in front of him, and that's gonna be a battle for P4 already. That is 12 points. As Maurer does get a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, that is not good as well. If he does go again, that is gonna be served. And if he doesn't go again, that is still gonna remain to his name at the end of the race. But the Red Bulls, again, leading 1-2, just like in Silverstone. I think it's expected now, because they are just way too dominant. I think they can just win the season, or win the Constructors, like, in the middle of the season. Because they're just gonna stack a bunch of 1-2s, and they're just gonna already have a 200-point deficit to everyone behind. Oh, but scratch that, we have another safety car. Oh, that is gonna put a spanner into the works, but not really actually. Because all of these medium runners can now definitely go to the end of the race. The only one that is probably gonna benefit from that is gonna be Ducros, who still has yet to make his pit stop. So now he's gonna be able to do it, and not lose as many positions as he would pitting before the safety car. So he's probably gonna emerge around behind Maurer, I think. So that is gonna be around 7 positions lost, 7 or 6 positions. So let's see if everyone else is gonna go into the pit lane. Corten does go into the pit lane. Let's see what tires he's gonna put on. Is he gonna for the... aggressive strategy for softs. And yes, he is. A lot of people are following him right behind as Luke Mills and Jonathan stay out. So this is gonna be interesting. Something like this sort of happened in real life, where Perez... Or actually, I'm not gonna spoil it, if any one of you haven't watched the race yet. So I'm not gonna spoil it, but we actually had sort of a similar thing actually happening in real life today in Zandvoort. So I don't know how this is actually gonna convert, as Zdeslowski and Patrick also stay out on the hards, Oginski as well, and Mikkelsen and Relzowski still have yet to even get into the pit, into the box. So a few people actually pitted for softs and a few people have pitted for mediums. Honestly, I have no idea what's better. I think softs can definitely go to the end of the race, but it is gonna be right in the puncture zone. So they are wearing out around 6 to 7% each lap. All depends on how much tire pressures you have applied on your car, and how smooth you are with the throttle and with your steering movements. So if you can manage, you can definitely get those softs to the end of the race, but they are just gonna fall off like in 4 laps time. So I think Horton made a pretty bad call going for those softs. I think he should have stayed out with the mediums, because that would have been a better strategy call. But honestly, I'm not good when it comes to strategy, so what am I to say? What am I to say? I'm just gonna see what happens and trying to learn from this. But honestly, if I haven't learned from Season 6 any of the strategies, I'm not gonna learn now. What's the point? So, anyways, how are you guys doing? I hope you are enjoying the stream so far and the commentary. It's unfortunate that Adam couldn't join us for today, but yeah, what can you do? I am again on my own. So yeah, again, I hope that you are enjoying the commentary. We do have 10 laps remaining after the safety car is gonna come in next lap probably. So yeah, it is gonna be very interesting to see if the soft runners have actually made a good strategy call here to pit for those softs. It's all gonna be a matter of time. Like I said, I think it's a bad strategy, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. And by the looks of it, rain is definitely not gonna come. I think those clouds in the beginning were just trying to distract us a little bit, or at least distract me, because again I cannot see the weather reports from the race. So stream is good, thank you Linus. Well, this is why you don't dismantle bathrooms. Wait, if you're dismantling bathrooms, why are you watching the stream? Aren't you supposed to be focused and maybe finish it as soon as possible so you can come, maybe? Adam needs to fix his GF4 again the next week. No, not the sync. I'm not gonna comment. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we have the safety car going one more lap. Yeah, Adam gave up. I mean, I would too. We actually, like 2 years before, or 3 years I think, maybe even 4, honestly I don't remember. We also renovated the whole house, and it was like so boring, so time consuming. It was insane. It's exhausting in my opinion. We took like 2 years I think to finish the whole house, and then like only last year we just finished the final part. I think it was the hallway which was the final thing. So now it's finally done. It looks very nice. But yeah. Maybe this actually gives me pretty good time to speak about the commentaries in the later parts. Should I join in? I mean, if you want to, Rabbi, I'm open for anyone. I don't mind. Also, we're probably gonna do some interviews later on with the drivers. I'm gonna try and come up with good questions. I think my questions last time in Silverstone were pretty bad, so I'm just gonna try to come up with better ones. But speaking of what I wanted to say before, I'm probably gonna be unavailable for 4 weeks because I am gonna be I'm not gonna be home actually. I'm not gonna be home for 4 weeks as per my school's mobility program, so you're not gonna see 4 weeks of me. You're probably gonna see like Voy commentating or probably Adam commentating on his own. So I am gonna go to Latvia 4 weeks, so at least I'm gonna have a break from this game, because I need a break from this game, because I hated this game with all my life. I hated this game. So thankfully I'm gonna take a little bit of a break with that. I don't know when it is gonna be. I think it's gonna be like in October, so like right in the middle of the season, but it's not confirmed yet. Let's just hope that it's actually gonna be after season 8, so at least I cannot miss any of the races. But anyways, enough about me. Because the safety car is coming in, we are seeing a very different strategy from Maurer, because Tony Rich was going very late actually here, as he is still leading, as we have 2 wide with Foss and Mills. Let's see if he's gonna be able to make that move stick, as Jonathan Foss does get a little bit of oversteer, nearly lose the car going into turn 1, as Bill Bass now has overtaken Corton as well. Corton got a really bad start here, as Bill Bass also got oversteer at the exit. We have 3 wide, I think, going into turn 4 or turn 5, but thankfully that didn't happen, as Bill Bass has pushed Ducros fully wide of the corner. Now Ducros is trying to go back at him, as Zysbowski and Oginski are also battling here, but Bill Bass and Ducros still battling for P5 here. Let's see if he's gonna be able to make this move stick. You can see Ducros a bit more straight line speed, but now Bill Bass trying to go down the inside of the Alfa Romeo driver. Is he gonna be able to make this move stick, and pushes him off the track, and I don't think he's gonna be able to make it, as there was nearly contact, as Ducros pushes him right into the wall of the outside of the track. So that is very hard defending there from the Alfa Romeo driver, but thankfully all is well, as Luke Mills has gotten himself up to P2 from P3 at the safety car restart, having an incredible race so far, starting from P7, having incredible bad luck in the beginning of the race, and now going into P2 on the podium positions. He is gonna have a lot of pressure from Corton and Hajrusi right behind him on the softs, but if he can manage to keep them right behind, he is gonna finish on the podium, which is gonna be a remarkable position for the AlphaTauri driver, and it's gonna be a nice change of pace from Silverstone last week and from qualifying today. As we have a crash behind with a Haas, that is Robertson making contact with someone, and unfortunately he has spun, but he is going back, as we have Borlini and Hajrusi, I think, going side by side. Thankfully they do keep it clean, as Oginski, I think, just in front, got a big snap of oversteer, also keeping it clean. People just pushing a bit too much, in my opinion, which is not necessary. Like, you see people making a lot of mistakes, and that is the main thing that is gonna give you positions later on, as we see Borlini making a move on Tom Maurer. Is he gonna be able to make it move stick, as he nearly makes contact on Ginski's rear left tire, but thankfully he just manages to avoid it, as he does overtake Maurer going into the corner down the inside, and got himself into the points, which is also pretty good. As Luke Mills has lost 2 positions to Corton and Hajrusi, now battling with Ducros, and Hajrusi once again into turn 17, and I don't think he's gonna be able to make anything, as he nearly gets put into the wall by the Alpine driver. Thankfully he manages to avoid it just But yeah, that's very unfortunate there, but he is on those worn mediums. Everyone in front of him is on fresh tires except for Tony. But yeah, that is very unfortunate. Maybe he can wait until the end of the race. As we see Borlini and Robertson, I think, making contact, as Borlini has lost a bunch of positions from P10 to P16 now. So yeah, people way too aggressive, like I said before, as now Maurer and Crocs battling for the points. This is for 1 point at the end of the race. Let's see if he's gonna be able to make this mistake, as Mikkelsen is also trying to get himself into this battle, and Crocs is probably gonna be in a Mercedes sandwich now if Maurer does overtake him, as I don't think he will, because Crocs now has the inside line going into the Mickey Mouse section, and Maurer is still going for it, even under the highway, but thankfully he backs out of it, because that's not the place where you wanna make a move. It's very easy to crash there, because that's not a place where you can go too wide. That chicane is probably the worst part of the track. But let's see here with the DRS enabled. And that was a very easy overtake indeed, as Crocs, I think, makes contact with the Mercedes driver. And he got a way better exit coming out of turn 17. But I don't think he's gonna be able to do this. Into turn 1, yeah, he is gonna stay behind. He is gonna stay behind. So Maurer in the points currently for 1 point, but we also see a head battle for the podium positions with Borlini and Ducros. Borlini is on the softs, so I think Ducros' best chance, if he wants to get a podium place, is to just wait it out, because those softs are already worn out insanely. Like they should already be around 30 or 40% worn. As Ducros has managed to make it move stick, he doesn't want to waste time, so he just, oh, that's a big lockup. He just went on into the escape road and nearly crashes into Maurer. What are you doing with that rejoin? That was incredibly dangerous. But yeah, that just made Hajrusi's job easier. Because now he is on the podium clearly. But let's go to our leaders here for a little bit. With Tony Rich and Korting actually switching positions. As Tony Rich is going into the pit lane. What are you doing? This is bad. I mean, probably the tires are like incredibly worn. Maybe he doesn't think that he can extend those to the end of the range. Maybe they are already near the puncture zone. But I think he just bottled a 1-2 there for Red Bull. I think that was incredibly bad. As we actually see Sassim in P7, all of that bad luck in the beginning of the race actually paid off, because now he is in P7 in the points. How did he do that? I seriously don't know, but he is on hards, people behind him on fresh mediums, so he is gonna have the tire disadvantage, also ERS disadvantage, because people behind have a little bit more ERS. So let's see if Ducros or Maurer can make this mistake. Just please don't go 3 wide. They are gonna go 3 wide. Let's see who's gonna be able to make this mistake, as the team still stays in P8. Ducros manages to overtake him, as Maurer also overtakes him. As Mikkelsen also tried to get himself into this battle, but Sassim just closed the door. He just lost 2 positions in 1 corner, but at least he is still in the points. Even if Mikkelsen does overtake him, he is gonna get 1 point at least, which I don't think Aston Martin actually has any points yet. But let's see here, Maurer going for a move on Ducros, and we have another safety car! Oh! That's a late safety car. This is gonna be bad for Corton, because now he's gonna be behind the safety car and he's not gonna be able to make a pit stop. This is interesting. This is very interesting. And that's all I'm gonna say. This is Interesting. This is seriously reminding me of Zandvoort today. Okay, okay. I don't think it's a smart choice now for Corton, Maurer, Ducros, Mikkelsen, Crocs, and Harvey to pit. The safety car's probably gonna stay for another lap, 26. It's gonna come in. If it doesn't come in, the last lap is gonna definitely be 27 because it doesn't go longer than 27. Or the last 2 laps actually. But I don't think it's the best strategy that they pit. Or at least not for Maurer, Ducros, Mikkelsen, Crocs and Harvey. Because they can definitely go to the end of the race with those mediums. Corton is gonna be struggling a little bit on those softs. So I think if anyone has to go into the pit lane, it's gonna be Corton. Because he's probably gonna get a puncture at the end of the race. So I don't know how this is gonna do. But this really put a spanner into the works. Let's just see what they're gonna do. But this actually brought Harvey back into the game and Crocs. Harvey was running way into the back, but now he is in P6, currently in the points. But he does have that penalty, unfortunately, which is gonna be added to his name at the end of the race. So that is gonna be the only thing that is gonna matter here. As Corton doesn't go in, yeah, he doesn't go in. He's gonna try and risk it for the chocolate biscuit. This is gonna be a hard thing to do for Corton, but I think he does have a lot of experience to know that he probably can get these tires to the end of the race. But it is gonna be very painful. Like I said before, those softs wear out around 7 to 8% each lap, and they are 9 laps old, so they should be around 56% already now. Now at least he can save them a little bit because of the safety car. So they're not gonna be as worn at the end, but they are still gonna be at the puncture zone, and he's gonna have to pray to God that he doesn't get a puncture. But he is gonna be overtaken by Maurer with those mediums, Ducros as well, probably even Mikkelsen and Crocs. Or maybe not. Maybe just Maurer and Ducros, because Mikkelsen, Crocs and Harvey, sorry if you're watching this, but honestly, I don't think you guys really do have the pace. But maybe because of the puncture, maybe they are gonna gain the place. But honestly, they do have everyone else behind them on fresh softs. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know how this is gonna do, but like I said, this really is reminding me of Zandvoort in real life. But let's see how this is gonna do for the final 3 laps of the race. And while the safety car is coming in this lap, Corton is still leading, and he is gonna lead us underway for this restart. He needs to get a good restart here, and Maurer right behind has to just stay with them to this restart. Ducros as well. Mikkelsen is running in P4, Crocs is in P5, Harvey is in P6, a very good position for the Williams driver. Tony Rich in P7, maybe he can try and actually benefit from this now with fresh softs. He's actually in front of every single soft runner, so that is gonna be very interesting. Hajrusi in P8, Bill Bass in P9, Luke Mills in P10 on the final points main position, as Corton does go out very early, already 5/10 to Maurer behind, so that is gonna only give him the advantage and a little bit more time to try and defend from the Mercedes driver, as Maurer does get a little bit of oversteer going into turn 1, and he is gonna be under pressure from Ducros, but I don't think he's gonna be able to overtake him just yet. I think Ducros' best strategy now is to just stay behind Maurer and Corton while they battle, as Maurer nearly loses the car there, going into turn 6. But like I was saying, I think Ducros' now best strategy is to give Maurer the opportunity to battle with Corton, and if Maurer doesn't get close to Corton, then you battle with for that win. And Maurer just waits it out until they maybe crashed into each other, as Ducros tries to go around the outside. of the Mercedes driver, and unfortunately he doesn't make it stick as he makes contact with the Mercedes driver of Maurer, and that's gonna give Corton a very good opportunity to try and just clear the gap, as now Crocs tries to go down the inside of Ducros, as Ducros had to track extend there. He instantly gets a 3-second time penalty, as that's Harvey spinning I think that's turn 16. But this is gonna really put a spanner into the works, as Ducros got a 5-second time penalty as people go 3 wide going into turn 17 with Mikkels and Crocs and Ducros, and somehow they still keep it clean and scratch that. Commentator scurs as Crocs is round, and I cannot keep track of this. Corton is still leading this race. And because of this battle behind, he has extended his gap to 2 seconds. Now his only hope is gonna be to not get a puncture. That's gonna be his only hope, as Rusi and Bilbels go side by side, going into turn 3 as they make a little bit of a contact. Rusi touching Bilbels' diffuser and gearbox, as Bilbels goes very aggressive there, trying to re-overtake the Alpine driver, as he does make it. I don't think that's gonna give Rusi any wing damage, but Tony Rich has managed to overtake Mikkelsen for the podium position, so I think this is gonna make a double podium for Red Bull, but it is not gonna be a 1-2 unfortunately, only if Maurer does make a mistake like he already did here in the Mickey Mouse section before. But from that spin, seriously going to P2 and maybe even winning. We still don't know if he's gonna be able to win. That would be an incredible comeback for the Mercedes driver, and I really hope that we do have an interview with him, as we're now on board with Bill Bass, who has incredible straight line speed here. You can just see that, and he does overtake Mikkelsen for P4. He didn't even need to overtake him because Mikkelsen does have that penalty, as DRS is enabled this lap. Let's see if Maurer can get himself in the DRS range, as Tony Ridge does get fast lap of the race, a 129.043. That is an incredible lap, as Robertson has crashed with Harvey. But honestly, I don't really care about that. I care about this now, as Foss and Sassim go side by side going into turn 2. Foss had to track extend there, as now Ducros is trying to go for this move. But he does have a bunch of penalties there, as Jonathan Foss manages to... Oh, he scratched that! He nearly crashes into the wall, somehow actually saves it. I really don't know how. But let's see, DRS is enabled this lap. People ahead as well, battling with Hazrusi and Mikkelsen. Hazrusi is gonna overtake him for P5, that's gonna give him 10 points at the end, as we see people going 3 wide once again, as Sassim has defended very aggressively to Oginski and just blocked the door and just killed himself going for that, as Oginski still going out, and if he manages to stay here, he is gonna improve 3 positions, going to P6 because of the penalties right in front of him with Ducros, Mills and Mikkelsen. But let's keep on board with Corton. Is he gonna get a puncture at the end of this race on the final 2 corners? Is he gonna be able to make it stick? Turn 18. And Maurer is also going for a move on Maurer. Is he gonna be able to make it move stick for P2, as Corton wins the Miami Grand Prix, takes his 2nd win of the season, as Maurer just goes in front of Tony Rich, and Tony Rich snatches the final podium position. Jesus Christ. Bill Bass also incredible comeback from the Ferrari driver, as he had incredible bad luck during the course of the race, goes into P4. Hazrusi as well, P5, congratulations to him. Oginski improves to P6 because of the penalties, also incredibly good points for Haas. That is 8 points, like GG. Oh my god, those final few laps were insane. I can already imagine a lot of reports are gonna be happening, as Bill Bass is the driver of the day. Honestly, I don't know who my driver of the day is. I would probably say Tom, because Tom had a bunch of bad luck in the beginning, spun at the Mickey Mouse section, was lost, or nearly lost, and came back to get P2. That is incredible in my books, and honestly, he is my contender for the driver of the day. And honestly, just Corton because of this dominant drive, which is expected. But I would say Tom Maurer is my driver of the day. Just incredible comeback there for the Mercedes. As you can see, Corton very happy to get this second win of the season, extends his lead in the Drivers' Championship, and Red Bull with a 1-3 double podium once again extend their lead in the Constructors as well by a bunch of points. Like, I seriously don't know how they do this. Like, this grid is insane. But here we are. Corton is the winner, but let me first get the race director because of the reports later on. And there we go. Corton is our winner for the Miami Grand Prix, for the first Miami Grand Prix, as Maurer takes P2 and Honrich P3 with the fastest lap of the race. The final podium position. Bill Bass P4, Hasrusi P5, Vaginski P6, Zdislovski P7, Foss P8, Mills P9, Berlini P10, Crocs P11, Mikkelsen P12, Zokras P13, Sassin P14, Harvey P15, Robertson P16, Patrick Dougal P17, Retzelski P18, and Owen Heinen in P19. I had to hurry up a little bit because of the timer going off, so I would actually get everyone. But yeah, what a race, honestly. But stay tuned, we are gonna try and get the top 3 to get an interview, or at least I hope they are gonna be able to do an interview. I need to try and think about the questions. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, so honestly, that was an incredible race. I really do hope that you have enjoyed it. But now let's go on to the press conference. Let's just do this. We're gonna wait. Give me just one moment. This, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's try to get the top 3 drivers into the interview. Okay, let us wait a little bit longer. And if no one is gonna wanna do an interview, that's also gonna be fine. Let's just see here. Let's wait a little bit.
That, so I was lucky. But I guess I've got an interview now. Dino, was this the call or?
I had the top tire with 70% of usual. Wow.
But surely Erwin had way more.
I don't know.
Okay.
Was it for 13 laps or something?
If you don't mind, I'm gonna transfer you to the.
Oh yeah, sure.
We're gonna be back, guys. Don't you worry.
Just Dino.
Something tak. Interview, samalla.
Aye.
Where did I just put him? No! Where did I put him? Transferring people is F1 conference. Give me just one moment. Don't. Okay, so while we are waiting for this, we have our first guy here, which is the winner of the race. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the first guy that we're gonna interview is gonna be Corton. Again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. But again, congratulations on the win, the second win of the season. How are you feeling after today's race? And are you actually happy to win the first Miami Grand Prix of Ero?
First of all, I'm so tired. My soft tires at the end was so destroyed. and I'm happy to win the first Miami GP.
Speaking of the softs, how close were they actually in the puncture zone, and were you actually pretty frustrated when the safety car came out and you couldn't actually do the pit stop?
I was on 16% I think, and if the safety car doesn't came out, I will finish on the puncture.
So another double podium for Red Bull. You two are showing very dominant pace so far. Do you think that that can maybe also come into the next race and maybe for the remainder of the season?
That's the target for the team. We want constructor championship.
And one final question, how were you feeling when you saw Maurer actually closing in very quickly in those final few laps on those old mediums, and you were pretty close to actually lose that win, so how were you feeling at that moment in time?
I was scared a lot. They have battles at the back, and I had 2 seconds at the moment, but one more lap and I lost the win.
Of course. Thank you once again for the interview, and congratulations once again for the win, and let's hope that you can do that for the next race as well, if you can keep up with the pace.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up we have Tom Maurer, who finished P2 in today's race. How are you doing after that race? And first of all, congratulations for P2.
Thank you. Well, the end result is fine, but during the race there was an absolute chaos. The first 15 laps perfect. We dropped Tony, and that was amazing. And then lap 15, first I spun. Then I decided, okay, it's probably time to pit. Then I sped into the pit lane. Then the safety car came out basically as soon as I left the pit lane. Then I boxed twice on soft and then back on mediums to get rid of my 5 seconds. Then at the end, if there's only 3 laps of racing remaining, even if you're on the even if you have a 2-second tire delta, I could just drain my battery and he can't get close. So I mean, I don't really understand why they boxed them. But also, that win would have been in the bag after all of that until the Alfa Romeo decided to attack me. Then I half spun, and then it was a 2-second gap instead of half a second, and I would have easily gotten that win without that. So yeah, it's a messy race, but the end result is there. So I don't know if I should count it as a good or a bad race, but definitely improve in the future.
I do agree with you there. You did have a lot of bad luck in that race, and if it wasn't for that contact with the Alfa Romeo of Ducros, I think you had a pretty good chance for the win. But all in all, even with that bad luck and the spin that you had in on lap 15, still to get P12, honestly, that is very impressive in my books. If you didn't watch the stream, I put you as my driver of the day because of that brilliant comeback. And do you think that maybe you can retain with the space for the next race as well?
I do the practice, sure. Last week I didn't really have motivation and I didn't really practice because of F1 Manager, and now I did a few laps more, but I mean, Miami and Austria I both had in PSGL, so that obviously helps already, like just general knowledge. But yeah, if I do the practice, I'm sure. Also, it was interesting that at the first safety car that they boxed for mediums, then back onto soft. That would have been interesting too if we'd not have any safety cars and any other spins of myself. But yeah, Austria is a good track, should be fun for you to watch and commentate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So
Of course.
I don't really know. Yeah.
And one final question before we end things off. Speaking of Austria, it is gonna be our first sprint race. So, how do you think that is actually gonna go? As
Is
it's
a
first
sprint race a 5-lapper like in season 6, or is it a 25? Or no, wait, my bad. I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm not sure how. Do you know how many laps it is?
I think it should be around 14, maybe 16. I don't know, honestly.
Then probably everyone will go for mediums. If it would be around 10 laps, you might see people risk it for softs. But I'm guessing with 14 laps, you can't really do softs all the way. But yeah, sprint race is important, but probably won't have action because people won't risk too much. But yeah, should be interesting. It's also going to be not the first sprint race, but the first proper sprint race. I remember in season 6 we had the 5-lappers. Well, one 5-lapper at Monza. But besides that, it's my only sprint race, and it's a legit one. So, looking forward to it. And yeah, we'll see how it'll go.
Of course. Again, thank you for the interview, and congratulations again for the podium position.
Thanks, you too.
See you later, and take care.
Bye.
So, that is it. We had an interview here with Tom Maurer and with Corton. Unfortunately, unfortunately, Tony Rich couldn't or didn't want to actually do the interview, which honestly I don't mind. I'm just happy I got to interview some people, but I really do hope that you did enjoy that. So before we round things off, I'm just gonna say just a few words. So if you have enjoyed today's race and the commentary, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps us out to make better commentaries, better streams, and to be even more active on our YouTube channel. You'll see that we like to do a few social races as well, so you can keep that in mind as well. Thank you to our partners, Great Finder, Bold Domania, Discord, and JR Designs for the partnership. We really do appreciate it. Down below you also have links to our website, Twitter and Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow us there for daily updates, or not really daily updates, but updates on what happens in the middle of the season, and like driver transfers and whatnot. You can also donate and support us on Patreon, and there is the official link of our Discord. So if you liked the action that you saw in today's race, and if you want to race with us, we have 4 PC divisions. So we have PC4, PC3, PC2, and PC1. PC1 you saw today, so racing at 4 PM UK time. PC2 is on Saturdays at 7 PM UK time. PC3 is on Fridays 7 PM UK time, and PC4 is, I think, at the same time as PC3 as I'm looking at this. So they are at the same time at 7 PM UK time. We also have 5 PS divisions: PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. PS1 is 6 PM UK time, PS2 7 PM UK time, PS3 4 PM UK time, PS4 8 PM UK time, and PS5 is 6 PM UK time. So PS5 and PS4 on Fridays, Saturdays are PS2 and PS3, and Sundays are PS1. So after this stream is gonna be done, there's gonna be the PS stream. You can also go watch that, because that's also a very entertaining race to watch. So I think that is everything, and yeah, I hope that you enjoyed today's race and the commentary, and yeah, take care and stay safe.